On October 29, 2006, the unidentified and burnt remains of a woman were found near an oil field in Kilgore, Texas. Authorities referred to her as Lavender Doe and used various techniques to identify her, but were unsuccessful for 12 years. The case had a significant breakthrough in 2018 when Joseph Wayne Burnette, who was already in prison for a sex offense, became the suspect in the murder of a woman named Felicia Pearson. During questioning for that crime, Burnette confessed to killing both Felicia and Lavender Doe. Joseph wasn't aware of Doe's identity, but another DNA analysis in late 2018 finally led to the body's identification. The DNA Doe Project used genetic genealogy and found Lavender Doe to be 21-year-old Dana Lynn Dodd. Dana was homeless and had no contact with her family at the time of her murder. When Joseph met her, she was selling magazines in the parking lot of Walmart. After approaching him to buy a magazine, he refused to take it, but he countered with the proposition of sex for money. Dana allegedly agreed to the offer and the two had sex inside his car, after which Joseph decided to strangle her and burn her body. Joseph Burnette was sentenced to 100 years in prison without the possibility of parole for both murders. On August 26, 2009, two Virginia Tech students, 18-year-old Heidi Childs and 19-year-old David Metzler, were shot and killed in Caldwell Fields in Montgomery County, Virginia. The pair had gone out that evening to enjoy a scenic backdrop in a location that many Virginia Tech couples had gone to before them. They parked their car and held hands as they walked along a path crossing a small stream in Craig Creek to a fire pit at Milton Field. When they were done taking in the scenic views, they walked back to their car, and at some point between 8:25 and 10 p.m., an unknown assailant approached the couple's vehicle. David was shot multiple times through the driver's side window, while Heidi was gunned down outside the car, most likely trying to escape the shooter. The following morning, a man walking his dog stumbled upon the bloody scene. The police were called to the site and found the gravel parking lot littered with .30 shell casings. Investigators followed more than 1,300 leads and interviewed hundreds of local residents. They also collected DNA evidence and identified specific individuals of interest, but stated they don't have the direct links to solve the case. After 14 years, this case remains unsolved, and there's a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. On October 31, 2010, 24-year-old William B.J. Liske murdered 3 members of his family in their Martin, Ohio home. He killed his father, Bill Liske, and his stepmother, Susan Liske, in their bedroom, and his 23-year-old stepbrother, Derek Griffin, in his bedroom. On November 1st, the following morning, the horrifying scene was discovered by Derek's younger brother, Devin. Devin had been away spending Halloween night at his father's house. When he came home, he went into his bedroom and started playing video games. A few hours later, his aunt called him and asked him to check on his mother because she wasn't answering her phone, which was unusual for her. Initially, he mistook the scene for a Halloween prank, but soon realized what happened and told his aunt he saw a lot of blood. She rushed over and called 911. The investigation revealed that BJ had a history of mental health issues and hated his stepmother and step-siblings. Police initiated a search and they eventually found him at a family cabin and arrested him. BJ pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder and was given 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. BJ Liske was found dead in his cell at Ross Correctional Institution on March 31, 2015 from a self-inflicted injury. On October 16, 2021, 22-year-old Emily Ferlazzo was murdered by her 41-year-old husband Joseph Ferlazzo during a vacation in Vermont. They were celebrating their first wedding anniversary. Joseph shot and killed Emily at some point during their celebration. Emily's family reported her missing, and her death was later confirmed, with the cause of death being multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Joseph admitted to killing Emily inside their camper, which was a bus they had converted into a living and traveling space. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and held without bond at the Northwest State Correctional Facility in St. Albans, Vermont. During his arraignment, his lawyer entered a plea of not guilty on his behalf, despite Joseph's initial admission of guilt. Joseph Ferlazzo is facing a charge of first-degree murder, and if convicted, he could potentially face a life sentence. Currently, there is no set date for the murder trial, but there was a motion hearing where his lawyers were granted approval to test the firearms found at the crime scene. On October 27, 2007, 38-year-old Joe Lovelien attended a Halloween party at the Broken Drum Bar in Grand Forks, North Dakota with his fiancée Heather Eastling. During the evening, a party bus arrived at the venue, unloading a crowd of costume patrons. Joel stepped outside to answer a phone call and noticed someone who was left outside by the party bus group. He then went back inside the bar, kissed Heather, and left to check on that person around 11:30 p.m. This decision led to a brutal assault that left him lying on the pavement with severe injuries to his face. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Joel choked to death on his blood due to the numerous broken bones in his face. The police investigation into Joel's murder was extensive, involving interviews with roughly 80 patrons at the bar and the 40 to 50 individuals from the party bus. They managed to recover a small piece of yellow cloth, which was part of someone's costume, as the only physical evidence from the scene. Witnesses described a brawl between 2 partygoers dressed as a hunter and a lion. 23-year-old Travis Stay, who had been dressed as the lion, voluntarily approached the police to clarify his involvement. He admitted to being in the fight with the hunter, during which Joel tried to intervene as a peacemaker. Although some of Joel's blood was found on Travis's belongings, he maintained his innocence. His cooperation, including handing over his blood-stained costume and shoes, led to his arrest for murder. However, in 2008, Travis was acquitted due to lack of concrete physical evidence and expert testimony suggesting he couldn't have overpowered Joel even in a fit of rage due to his small stature. The murder of Joel Lovelien remains unsolved.